Take a deep breath in. The title is real and it's relevant, okay? Today is a 9 day, and I may put my daily power up before this one. Maybe I won't now, but I haven't done it today. First time I broke my chain of good my chain of good work ethic. And before I even met the destruction, I can't say destruction, but the narcissist energy, I already felt the day was just started off with bare isms and schisms. And yesterday was a great day, but by the evening, it just started going left. I was, practicing my rituals and manifesting tools all day. And then my last one was going to be at 11 by 10:30, by even 10:30, by 10 o'clock. I was so knackered. I was trying to fight it as well. I asked my guide, is it okay for me? Let me go sleep. Because I couldn't keep up. I couldn't stay up. Of course, his energy is trying to pull me down. Okay, and I know you're watching as well. Continue watching. That's as close as you'll ever get. We're here to talk about narcissistic parents, okay? This goes back to my my video I made on single parent families, or single parents versus two-parent households. And on that one, I mentioned that it's not about being a single parent or being without a mother or a father. It's about the dynamics in the household. If the parents are whole, the parents are on their path, are they fulfilled, are they wise, enough to take care of children and be there for the children, by first understanding themselves, being their highest self. Yeah. I'm in the middle? No. Okay. So it's not about whether you have a one parent or two parents, because in both situations, the children are the ones that we're supposed to be looking up to, or up for, but they are not well looked after, whether you have two parents or one parent, when the parent themselves are not in their best stead, are not vibrating from their highest vibration, from their higher self. And of course, we come in this plane to learn lessons and earn our blessings. So we have to work at these things to get to our highest stead. And we also know that in this day and age, from 2000 onwards, 2000 and beyond, we have come into a new phase, a new paradigm on earth, like the shadow phase of the Aquarian ages now. And now that I'm actually dealing with the true sidereal astrology, I'm realizing that we're not actually in the Aquarian age as yet. In regards to the tropical or the Western astrology system, they might tell you that it is so, but we're not there yet. But we're definitely in the shadow phases, so we're feeling the energies. We, the generations from the late 90s, even early 80s, have a different way of going about things. We understand things a lot differently than the generations before, and we have more accessibility to our own power, okay? And this narcissistic parent, mine is my father and also my children's father. They have very many similarities, but yeah, narcissistic people, it's a sad situation, because they are here for a reason. They come into your life, our lives, to teach us how to stand up for ourselves, how to not allow other people's energies to drive us, pull us away from our center, our core, our in the most best knowing how to value ourselves, you know, how to really appreciate ourselves. And they come with a sense of entitlement, a need for attention and validation, lack of responsibility, oh, a great need for control, yes, manipulation, lying. They have split personalities, and that's the worst part of it for me. Other than them manipulating, controlling, and lying, it's a split personality, which just makes you as an empathetic person as well. Especially most empaths come to the lives of empaths. What did I say? Most narcissists is what I meant. Come into the life of empaths, because empaths are very loving people, very caring people, and always sees the best in people, and always understands that beyond their crassness, there's a wholesomeness, and there's a oneness, and there's love, even if it's deep, deep, deep down, which hardly ever suffices or surfaces. But in this split personality syndrome that they have, it makes it very hard for the empath, because sometimes they're so good and other times they're just the worst. And because we're more drawn to their good side, and we always will remember their good side, we forget all their crassness, all their bad side. And when I say good and bad, I mean maybe just high and low energies, high and low personalities, characteristics, vibration. And it's a sad thing, because another thing with them, they lack a need, they lack a way of communicating. They don't know how to talk to you properly. This split personality thing is a thing, because like I said, usually do come by the empaths, and we have to own our power. Know that yes, you're empathetic, but doesn't mean you have to sequester yourself. And it's doubly hard when it's a parent, and most times you have to stick with them for a good majority or a good portion of your life. And then when you do come away from them, you most likely will meet another. And that's where you're supposed to be able to correlate what you've already learned with your parent and see it in the other, and know how to cut off and not allow them to manipulate you. And I find that with narcissists, I guess it's just the design, right? But I always find that they're always spiritually inclined. They're always spiritually inclined, and even though a lot of the things that they do is physical, or in the mundane, in the physical world, but they're attached to your spirit, because they deal with manipulating you with the mental and emotional. And with that is etheric, it's spiritual. Because the children's father was once a priest, and my father, he's got a lot of seven energy, and I mean the whole lineage of my mother and my father's side, we're all quite spiritual, for the good or the bad. No, that doesn't mean we play all kind of games, but in the recent years I realized that my father has opened himself up to different religious sects, and in those religious sects they play a lot of games. But today I was gonna rip. Oof, I was gonna go in, because I left it was my mother's birthday the other day, so I left some stuff in her room. And my dad has been doing this for years, because my mother had a stroke, and she's in a home right now. He put her in a home, and it's just been an uphill battle with that whole situation. Whether it's me allowing me to go see her, or not having her in the home where she is at, because it's not really helping her move. A lot of things. I'll put crystals there, candles there, incense there, radio there. He takes it, and I get really frustrated with it, because there was a time where I was just like, oh, it's just I'm trying to do all these things to uplift my mother, heal her, but he's always trying to block it. And it needs to get me mad because obviously I want my mom to be out of that state. And there's so many people that I know now who's had also, like, I can't compare because obviously it's not the same. And my mom's situation was a bit, it's come across a bit severe. But yeah, there was a set of twins I used to hang with when I was younger, and their mother had a stroke as well. And I mean, I've met a lot of people who have had strokes, and they've been able to move again, to do things again. But my mother's been blocked. She's been blocked. Initially, she blocked herself, sequestered her power, so someone else thought that they could take the power off her. And that's one of my biggest lessons, to not allow that to happen to me. To own my power, and always stand in my truth, stand my ground, you know? Because like we said, narcissists, they love control, not just of control of course, never really control of themselves, because they're the first ones to uproar, temper tantrums, fights, blowouts. And they also love to control other people, be it physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And you know what the saddest thing is, and I've always known this about my father, is that he grew up having to go to war, having to serve in wars and stuff. He came from Angola, and he ran away from the war. And I always knew that he had like a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. Even as a young child, I knew that there was a lot of things blocked up in him. That's why he perpetrated the things that he did unto us. And that's one of the reasons as an empath that made me just always want to be a bit soft. But even in the midst of our most heightened situations, I could see that there was a fear in him of me because I knew who he was. I could see there was a time when he was hitting me because I don't know what. And I said to him, like, why are you doing this to me? I'm your daughter. And the way his face turned, the way his eyes went, and the way he would after that moment of pause, he said something like, I don't know, he just shushed it or continued on. But that moment of pause made me realize that I hit a core. I hit a core. And I've done that many times. And it's funny looking back now because, like I said, even as young as I was, and as unaware of my high spirituality at the time, I always sensed that he knew who I was before obviously I did. And that's quite natural. But there was time there, the lack of communication. There was one time where because he's a long distance driver, and he hit a motorcyclist once, and I left a note for him, and he never spoke about it. But it was a really, I can't remember exactly what I said, but I just said, like, I know, because I don't know if I think my mom told me about it, and I don't know, but I just felt like I needed to write a note to him. I didn't see him that day when my mom told me what happened, and he leaves out in the morning, early mornings, and yeah, I wrote him a note. Told him you don't have to be. I mean, I just felt bad for him because I knew, yeah, there's like there's a shock factor when you are in an accident, whether you're the cause or the causee, like, however that goes, whether you're the one who caused it or you're the one who was afflicted by it. Lack of communication is a thing. They can't talk, they can't speak their truth. They actually hide their truth because they've been so used to blocking who they really are, blocking away their highest calling, ignoring their highest calling. And that's why they do buck up to the empaths, because the empaths can see all of that. And sometimes it's them that can show them that. Because I find that with my children's father, after being with me, after being with this angel, like, he's definitely changed. He's definitely seen the ways that was not conducive. He's definitely changed some of that. But I can't stick around to see if he's fully transitioned or not. And I'm not going to allow the children to have to deal with all of that either. Okay? Especially at a young age, because I can see how he affects them already. You know? Because they only see through their eyes. And it's always their low vibration eyes. You can try and speak to them and let them know how you're feeling, and if they want to shush you or just move on, they will make it seem like they understand, but in the next jiffy they'll be doing the same ish, because somewhere in their mind they may have listened, but then another voice will tell them like, no, forget that. And don't ever forget, hurt people, because always they have been hurt. And I know you've been hurt. I know growing up wasn't easy for you. I know you've gone through stuff that you don't ever want to tell anybody. But that doesn't make it okay for you to perpetrate the shit that you do. Not only that, once you grow up out of that phase where you were as a child, where you were so wrong done by, it's up to you, knowing how that hurt you, not to do it to anybody else. Even if that means relearning new ways of doing things. As long as you're on earth, as long as you have your body, you are here to learn. Learn how to shift the energies that you've been carrying all this while. Heal your inner child. Heal that wounded child. You are your own best healer. Heal thyself. Love thyself. Know thyself. When I say love thyself, it's loving you first, taking care of yourself. Yes, and you know what? They usually always look grandiose, always very handsome, always very strong appearing. But really inside they are vulnerable. They are scared to let out their vulnerabilities. They focus on the outside look because the inside is too scary for them. And they project their fears and anxieties onto others, especially their close ones, especially the ones that they can work with the most, i.e. their families. Know yourself. Know that whatever happened to you wasn't okay, but it's not okay for you to do unto others. Okay? Discipline yourself to train your thought tracks differently. Not block, heal and release those hurts. Get to know who you are, what you came to be. Tune into your higher self. Find out what that means. Yeah, and I want that ink back in my mother's room. Okay? This is why And you know what? Another thing for the ones that are perpetrated against by their narcissistic parents. Like I said, I was gonna let it rip because, like I said, bought some gifts for my mom, and that ankh ring that I wear, the um the copper one, and it's a design that I can't even remember how I did, and I was just examining it before I gave it to her. Thinking, how did I do this? I really need to put like I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I was try to write down how I do these designs, but that doesn't always work for me. To write down is another thing. Maybe I need to record them as I'm doing it. But yeah, because we had it on there before, but it was getting old and rusty. It was just a wire. It wasn't copper. It was silver wire, silver plated likely. And that's what I was gonna let rip because he took that out of the room, as well as the candle that I left there a few weeks ago. So sad, and he'll be the one that's always telling people, oh, I'm really trying to work out this relationship with my. No, you're not. And this is exactly, and even most recently, me and my sister was talking. I was thinking about you know dealing with you again differently, talking to you about certain things, but my spirit always knows. Like, I'm always looking like the hard one that's like not trying to give no one no blight, because I know you, and I can see that you still haven't healed, and you're always going to be perpetuating the same shit because you're not willing to heal. And I'm not going to allow my children to be around you. No way. We have to check that as empaths, as people dealing with narcissistic parents. It's a tough one because your parents are your parents. You feel like you owe them something. They gave you life, they brought you into this world. Also know that sometimes you just come through these parents, these vessels, because they have the best lessons for you. Other than that, as you grow, as you come into yourself, you have to know when to hold or when to fold. Well, I don't know that saying, but just to say, know when to move away and know when to be silent. That was my thing today. I had to just not fuel that fire because I know it was just a mind thing. There was times because I have posters on my and some affirmations on my mom's room as well. And there was times where I would always see it slanted. And I'm like, every time, oh, I'll leave a calendar there. And they will move it from one side to the other side. Like this little mind games. It's about not allowing their isms, their schisms to affect you. Know that, okay, I know you already know that they have divine essence. But they're here to teach you not to allow their energy perpetrate your own, affect your own, derail your own. You already know they got issues, so stay away. Leave them to it. Love them from afar, like way back. Way back. It's a sad situation, but it's getting more and more absurd. It's sad. It's sad. You know what? It's not getting more and more absurd because we are learning our lessons. We're about to earn more blessings. Because I felt really good after a while. Because yeah, listen, I just like I'm about to let it rip. I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna even hey. There's no point because that would just be me putting myself on that level, and that's the biggest thing. Don't lower your vibration to meet theirs. Because once you meet theirs, then you're on your own path. You're gonna be the narcissist too. We don't want that. We don't need any more of that. We're eradicating them kind of isms. And I give thanks for not allowing myself to get there. I give thanks to my guides. Give thanks to the presence of my babies as well. Because I was always there cussing. my daughter was like, so how are we gonna get it back? And I called him this man. So when I heard her repeat it back and all of that, I was like, no. And she's very empathetic, and of course the children are very psychic too. She told me that grandma was saying, because he even took the cake I left there for her. When we baked the cake for mama, and he took the cake as well. Like he said, when you think about it, it's so silly, so silly. It's just very childlike behavior, and that's another thing with the narcissist, because they were tampered with, abused, misused as children. They as in the adulthood they still play out the hurt child. So the child that wants to rebel, that child that wants to rebel because they wasn't listened to, because they were hurt and no one understands why, no one, like, however, whatever, they come back at you as a grown child, you know. It's sad. Another thing is, well, we went to the bounce castle today, and I realized that a lot of the parents were just sitting around letting the children play, and then I came in, took off my shoes, went straight into the bouncy castle, bounce, 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 and then the other parents came out. I was like, listen, you parents, like, play with your kids. Kids, I don't even use that term. Play with your children. Kids is for goats, okay? Goats have kids. Humans have children. But children, they want mamas and papas to play with them too. It's nice to give them the independence and let them play with other children, but it's a great release as a parent, as the mother, father, aunties, uncles, whoever, grandparents, to play with the children, because it brings out your inner child. Okay, and remember, it's a big sin to forget what it is to be a child when you become an adult. Give thanks. Peace.